Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If this is the very first time you're here, yay, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate your support. And you probably have seen I reply to every comment that any subscriber or viewer leaves, and I'm always excited to see what you have to say. So keep those comments coming. Anytime you post a comment below or subscribe or even just like the video. It's a free action that you can take that really helps my channel to grow. And my goal is to save you time and money. So I try to give you the scoop on the content of the film as well as the quality. And then you can decide whether or not it's for you and if you want to spend time or money watching it. So the movie that I'm reviewing today is called Irena's Vow. This powerful Holocaust survival movie releases in theaters on April 15th, 2024. The movie is rated R for content. I'll give you some heads up on that when I give you tips for parents. It's 2 hours and 1 minute long, which is a long time to watch anything about the Holocaust because it's so devastating. However, my overall movie review mom grade is an A. I thought it was very well done. So first I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like, tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, funny lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like if you like this one. All right, you ready to dive in? Me too. So in a nutshell, through the eyes of a strong-willed woman comes the remarkable true story of Irena Gut Opdijk and the triumphs of the human spirit over devastating tragedy. 19-year-old Irena Gut is promoted to housekeeper in the home of a highly respected Nazi officer when she finds out that the Jewish ghetto is about to be liquidated. Determined to help 12 Jewish workers, she decides to shelter them in the safest place she can think of, the basement of the German commandant's house. Over the next 2 years, Irena uses her wit, humor, and courage to hide her friends until the end of the German occupation, concealing them in the midst of countless Nazi parties, a blackmail scheme, and even the birth of a child. Her story is one of the most inspiring of our time. A famous quote by Irena Gut Opdijk is very insightful. Quote, "You must understand that I did not become a resistance fighter, a smuggler of Jews, a defier of the SS and the Nazis all at once. One's first steps are always small. I had begun by hiding food under a fence." End quote. This authentic film was directed by Louise Armstrong, and writing credits go to Dan Gordon, who stated, quote, "It is so much more relevant today than it was 10 years ago when I wrote it." End quote. Speaking of this screenplay. Already the film has been nominated and won several film festival awards. In other words, it's very well done. So let me give you some quick tips for parents. Kids are definitely going to be bored. There's a lot of adults talking in the movie, but really the content is not appropriate. There is just disgusting Nazi brutality shown, brutal, bloody murder, talk of an abortion. We see people hung in the public square to discourage citizens from hiding Jews, and more. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are World War II, the horrors of the Holocaust, hope, resilience, survival, anti-Semitism, and sexual favors. And it begs the question, where would you draw the line to save other people? That was where I just went, oh no. But you got to watch the movie. There were a lot of things I really liked about this film. For example, Sophie Nélisse does an excellent job and is perfect in this role. I loved her in the movie The Book Thief. Did you ever see that one? It was another excellent World War II movie. The rest of the cast is also fantastic and includes Dougray Scott and then some foreign names, and I beg your forgiveness. I'm not pronouncing them correctly, I'm sure. Andre Sarowin, Masic, Naratsi, and more. I absolutely love World War II movies, probably because there are so many true stories of heroism in the battle of good versus evil. And this is yet one more amazing story. The title is intriguing because we want to know, what was the vow that Irena made, and did she keep her vow? The first lines that we hear in the movie are Polish. So if you're worried that this movie will require you to read subtitles for 2 hours, you'll be happy to know that everything is in English after that. The story takes place in Poland. Because I didn't know anything about the true events of the story, it was very suspenseful, and I worried for Irena the entire time. Irena's daughter shared a very touching message about this film when it was made. She said, quote, and this is a long quote, "It's so easy to be consumed with our own needs, wants, and rights that we don't wander far beyond our own small protective circles. But the truth is that our indifference to what's happening around us is never benign. Everything we do affects someone else for either good or bad. And when we choose to do nothing, nothing is what we reap. Can one person really make a difference? Is it true that we are all part of one human family and have a responsibility for each other?" My mother certainly believed so. And if she were still alive today, she would urge you of this truth. Mom often said in her English, Polish accent, "If you think only with your head and not with your heart, your head will tell you this is dangerous. Don't do that." So you must always involve your heart. Having my mother's voice and story told through the movie Irena's Vow is an honor for me. I pray many are inspired by her message of love and courage and become willing to take up the torch and pass it on. One person can make a difference. End quote. So Irena's real life daughter is Janina, or Jeannie in English. And this was a quote that she left in just October 2023. So the film was shot across Poland, including Warsaw and Lublin, and it only took them 29 days to shoot the entire film. At the end of the movie, we learn about the events that happened next through text on the screen and photos of the real people involved in the true story. I always love that, finding out, well, what did happen next and where are they now if they're still alive. We learned that Irena never spoke about what happened until many years later. A Holocaust denier faced her, and she could no longer remain silent. And that's when she started to tell her story. The film is dedicated, obviously, to Irena Gut of Dijk, those she saved, and the 6 million she couldn't save. Irena died just in 2002. I think she would have been very pleased with this movie. Now, with that long list of things that I really liked, there were just a couple of things really that I didn't like. First of all, it's hard to know which elements of the movie are factual and which are Hollywoodized. Historians might sneer at any missing details. And because I didn't know the full story, I don't know which is fact and which is more fictionalized. There are a couple of times when actual footage of the times are included. And their inclusion looks odd because, first of all, they're in black and white, whereas the rest of the movie is in color. And they're also displayed at a different aspect ratio than the rest of the movie. And I understand that they wanted it to feel authentic, but it kind of pulled me out of the movie. If they had colorized it or if the whole movie were in black and white, I don't think it would have been nearly as noticeable. Now, whenever I watch a movie, I take notes, of course, and I write down funny lines and interesting lines simply so I can share them with you so you can get a taste for the script writing. Now, I look back at my notes and I did not write down any funny lines. This is definitely a serious drama, but I did write down quite a few interesting lines, and you can see all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, although my website is down, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the recent cyber attacks or what. Thank goodness YouTube is working, but whenever I'm able to fix the problem or the company is able to fix the website and the post, Anyway, then you can read all of the quotes, but I'll share some of them with you right now. Anyway, one of them is a really interesting line spoken by a character who's played by Andre Severwin. And again, I apologize. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but he's talking to Irena and he's trying to give her advice. And he says, do you know how one survives in this sort of change in destiny? Look down. You look neither to the left nor the right nor up, not even straight ahead. You look at your own 2 feet, taking one step at a time. What I mean is you worry about yourself. You take care of you. And he was trying to warn her, don't trust anybody and do what is best for your survival. Another time he says to her, sometimes survival means serving dessert. You do what you're told to not get in trouble and to not make yourself known, try to disappear really amongst those who are in power to possibly kill you and that kind of thing, or jail you or whatever. And then a really powerful line spoken by Irena is when she's talking to these Jews that she's hiding. She says, it's not enough to save a life to simply survive. We have to live. Otherwise, the Hitlers of the world have won. And so she's trying to give them some semblance of a normal life while they're hiding in a cellar and then inside another secret compartment area inside the cellar. Anyway, and then they have to make some choices, which are very, very interesting, and choices that I have not seen illustrated in other movies like this. And speaking of other movies like this, let me share recommendations for 3 films I instantly thought of as I was watching this one. The first one is one I mentioned earlier, The Book Thief, because it also stars Sophie Lillis as a younger girl. And in that movie, she is a German and she's looking at what's happening in her culture, in her country, in her society, and trying to figure out who's at fault, who's right, who's wrong. And it's really fascinating. I really liked it. First of all, because I'm a book nerd and I write books myself. You can find them all on Amazon, my shameless plug. But also because as a young girl, she's hearing people in her country saying things. And I've often wondered, how did the Germans let all of the horrors of World War II and the Holocaust exist? Why didn't they say something? And the movie answers that question. And I found it to be fascinating. Another movie is about a woman in Poland, Warsaw specifically, and it's called The Zookeeper's Wife. Excellent acting and another look at what happened in Poland during the war. And then this last one is called One Life. And I like it because it also promotes the idea that one person can make a difference. I recently reviewed this movie starring Anthony Hopkins, and it shows what one person can do. And it was so well done. Acts 1 and 2 were a little bit slow moving. And I kept thinking, why did Anthony Hopkins pick this story? Other than the subject matter, the directing and everything was just very slow. The script moved slowly. And then finally, Act 3 really hits you. It's worth the wait. So if you watch that movie, be patient and you will be satisfied with the payoff in Act 3 at the very end. All right, that's it. I hope if you watch this movie, you enjoy it. And when you get a minute, run over to Instagram and please follow me as Movie Review Mom, but you can also follow me as Trina Boice, which is my name. And you can learn about my books, especially when I offer them for free on Amazon, which is almost every week. And you can also learn about my online courses, my products, and my other shenanigans. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.